Hello and welcome to episode 47 of Soccercraft. In between episodes, I built up this build behind us and a pathway leading to it from the desert. So we're now actually on to the back of the mountain, which probably means I'm going to have to actually do some detailing on it soon. But let's ignore that for now and have a quick look at this build and path that we did. First, I built up this bridge, which helped me figure out what kind of block palette I wanted for my bridge and what kind of ways I was going to use it to anchor it to the ground. And then I got started with just expanding out the path, and it made me think of what I wanted to do in this area. And I said in the last episode, I want to turn this area into a cactus forest so we can get a ton of those custom cactuses over here just sprawled throughout this area here. And then this path leads us to our second bridge, which was heavily inspired by our first bridge. And I think this one looks even better, actually. I still need to wax this one up. But this brings us once again finally to the build, which is going to be the main focus of today's episode. And this build is supposed to represent the building that Aang and Zuko get stuck in when they come to visit the Sun Warrior Temple Island. So this is where they did the dragon dance and found the golden dragon egg. And speaking of the dragon egg, this is actually going to be where we're storing our dragon egg for this world. So that means that we're planning on having a lot of redstone fun today in this episode. We're going to do up a whole bunch of redstone doors, one right here actually, and there's going to be a few separate areas of security leading us down to where we store the dragon egg. I just have to get this place lit up first. Okay, now that we're safe in here, let's talk about the plans that we have. The plans for this build is to have a lot of fun with redstone doors. Right at the front down here is where I want to have a sand redstone door, and there's going to be some sort of activation method out the front. And I've actually already told you all this, but lost a whole lot of footage, so I kind of already went ahead and built a little bit of the interior, so let me go and show you that now. And down here you can see what I've done so far. I lost all the replay footage for this, but it is still looking pretty good. I tried to keep it as close to the Sun Warrior Temple room that Zuko and Aang got stuck in the show as possible. On these pedestals on the outside are where the statue's going to be doing the dance of the dragon. And in this centerpiece here, there's going to be something that is probably going to help us activate the mechanism to get down to the next room. Now, talking about getting down to the next room, I purposely used stairs as flooring in here. First of all, it looks really cool, but I thought this would be a good opportunity for me to try to turn this into a piston staircase that will take us down into the next room. So yeah, those are our plans for in here. Now I'm going to go into another time lapse, hopefully this time, of me making the inside of this place look overgrown and actually getting rid of all those scaffolding blocks at the top. Alright, now that we have this place sufficiently overgrown, I think we can start looking at some of these redstone doors. Starting with this front door over here. So I'm going to go ahead and clear out some space beneath this for us to actually build the door. But first, I'm going to show you the redstone for the door. So this was a tutorial by Kmund on YouTube, and basically this is the quick tileable design that creates a quick 3x3 redstone door, sand door. So to do that, it has its opening sequence, and then you just have to activate this redstone line again to close it up. So I'm gonna go get this in my world. And here we have our first redstone door in place, and I've hidden the activation method right here. I didn't want any typical button to be able to open this door. I mean, it is a single player world, but I want to have some fun with it. So what I decided was this dirt block is our activation method, and what we need to do is we need to turn it to path, and then a piston will push it out from the side, putting it under this dirt block, reverting it back to dirt, and putting it back in place so that it can be used again. Here, let me show you. Alright, let's go down below and I'll show you the redstone. Alright, so down here you can kind of see what's going on. We have a redstone torch powering this redstone line, and this is our dirt block from up above, and when it's a full dirt block, it blocks this redstone signal from getting up to here and pushing the block over. But when it gets turned into a path block, it becomes a transparent block, which allows the redstone signal to come up here, pushing it over in front of this observer, which will send the redstone signal down to this line. And then this redstone line goes to turn off this torch to reset the piston and pull it back, like that. And this redstone line goes to activate the door. And that's basically everything with this redstone door. And now I've been doing a little bit of planning on what I want to do for the next redstone door. We want to actually try a redstone staircase, and I want to clear this area out and see if we can turn this into some sort of like 2x3 staircase. And to help me figure out the design for the staircase that I'd use, I went to YouTube and found a great design by Quipla. He has a great tutorial which will be linked in the description, and basically it has everything I need. This is going to be simulating what the floor looks like, and if we flip this lever, which will change for a different activation method, out comes a staircase. It does show pistons a little bit, which I really don't mind, but it will take us down to our next secret room where we can build another door. And so I went ahead and built it up in my world. We're still going to have to switch out the activation method. I want to do something a little bit more complex than just a lever. But we have our staircase coming down, and you can see it built up right here. Go and follow the tutorial linked in the description for both doors if you are curious about how they're made. Now let's look at changing up our activation method to something a little bit more complicated. So what I want to change it out to is I want it so that you need to press two buttons, one in the middle pedestal here and one maybe off on the wall here. But you have to press them both at the same time. So we're going to use an AND gate with the two buttons leading to it to activate this. So let me see about getting this built up. And here's what that looks like. We have an AND gate right here, which basically means that this redstone line and this redstone line need to be powered in order for this redstone line to be not powered. So these redstone lines basically run up. Here is the middle pedestal right in the center of the room. And then this redstone line leads way over into the corner. And this is just, one of the wall foundation blocks. And here, let me show you how it looks like up above. And here we are up in the top floor, and you can see the two buttons, one right here and one off in the corner here. And now the only issue is, how can you press them both quickly enough for it to activate? Because as you can see, that isn't quick enough for this door to open. So how I've made this activation method a little bit special is you need a bow in order to activate it. So you grab your arrow, shoot the button, which is why it is a wooden button rather than a stone button, because this doesn't work with stone buttons. Did that hit? Yeah, it hit. That means the door should be open now. Yes, it is. Perfect. And yeah, that is basically the activation method down here. And now once we get this room built out here, I'm going to add another way to open it up from the inside. But until that happens, I just have another button mixed in here that I can also shoot with an arrow to get out. So now I'm going to hop into a live stream, get this next room built up, get some treasures and trophies put in there, and then I'll bring you guys back to show you what it looks like when everything's done. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that time lapse. We got a ton of stuff done. We've got the entrance down here with an access hatch to access the redstone, and comes down into what is going to be the trophy room. And I got quite a few trophies laid out, and we have a few spots for some other trophies that we want in the future. Down here we have the trophies that I got from the Woodland Mansion that I recently did on stream, and I finally got an enchanted golden apple recently in some of my live streams, and we actually went ahead and we ended up getting 4 enchanted golden apples, including the one over here. So 1, 2, 3, and then this used to be an enchanted golden apple. I wanted the thing banner pattern for a while now. I think it was episode 10. I went and searched for like 8 to 10 hours for an enchanted golden apple, so it's nice to have a few in the backup inventory. Here we have an exhibit for the first wither fight that I did that wasn't under the bedrock, and the first wither fight out in the open air. Here's some pink wool from my pink sheep and some wool from my Jeb sheep. Here we just have a Heart of the Sea. I kind of want to upgrade this spot to something a little bit more interesting. If you guys have anything that you would put in a treasure room in your Minecraft world, please leave it in the comments down below. I really want to upgrade this place. Right here I have a netherite block, but I really don't like how this is displayed, so I'm thinking of changing this up to be a glass showcase where we can actually have a netherite block in there. And over here we have the dragon skull, the elytra, and then the last thing that I have is I went back and I found some of the first stone tools that I used in this world, and I think that's a pretty cool thing to put in your trophy room. And now the last 3 spots on the left side have been reserved for a few things. I need to find pig step in my world, I need to get a creeper head, and we want to get a skeleton horse. This is what me and the Twitch chat came up with for things that I absolutely need to get in my treasure room, but I still want to expand out this treasure room a little bit more. So that means we can start looking at the last redstone door of this area, and I have a really cool idea for this one. I think I saw it about 9 months ago on Reddit from a user named PR Luksha, and basically it's an idea where from one button you can get 2 different outputs from it. So basically I can have it so that if I press this button, a dispenser pops out a totem to me, or if I hold down the button, these pistons will pull out a secret entrance that we're able to go through to the final area. So now I'm going to bring you in and actually teach you guys how to build this, so let's hop back into the main world. Our first step is placing down the button and digging out an area behind to place the redstone. Next, we're going to come behind where we placed our button and place the building blocks that we're going to put our redstone on. So we'll start by placing 3 blocks in front of where the button is and 4 blocks just to the left of it. Then we will create an L-type shape like this, and we can get rid of this block here. And from here, we want another 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks along here, and 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks along here. Next, I'm going to come to the second block to the left of the L and create 6 blocks or 7 blocks in this shape here. Now I'm going to have 2 going this way, and then I'm going to start bringing the blocks down. Right here we need some blocks heading to the back right here, and another block heading in this direction. Now that I have most of the guide blocks placed down, I'm going to start laying down the redstone. So first thing I need is a whole bunch of repeaters coming out 1, 2, 3, and these back 2 I want set to 4 ticks. And we're going to get our redstone and lay it like so. On top of this L shape, I'm going to put a torch here, and then I'm going to come around and put a torch right here. If I put a redstone dust here, whenever these 2 torches are activated, this torch will be deactivated. So that's basically like a modified AND gate, just like this one, just in a little bit different orientation. Alright, first we're going to work on the circuit that's going to activate the dropper that's going to give us totems. So first, the dropper can go right here behind the wall here, and we're going to actually want to grab a few extra building blocks. And this went 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to take another one and bring it over to here. I think I need another block there. And we also want to block in the dropper, forcing it so that all the blocks can really only go forward. So I'll just put a few extra blocks around here. Next, I'm going to grab my repeaters again, and we're going to get 2 repeaters here, both set to 4 ticks. And then we grab our redstone dust, go back 2 and all the way along the back here. Now we need a few more building blocks, we place them right here. And we need a few comparators and redstone dust. So right there goes the redstone dust and a comparator facing this way and this way to extend the pulse of this. Now we just need to run the redstone dust up on top of this block, and that should be the dispenser working. There we go. Okay, it's working. So now let's start looking at the other circuit. Now, before we get started on the next circuit, I think now's a good chance for me to tell you how this works and how the button can select 2 different outputs. So I've put another button here for us to test with, and you can see that whenever I push this button, it quickly turns off this torch, and then this delays it so that this torch takes a little bit to turn off. But if we hold it down, you'll see that they both get turned off at the same time at some point. So this gives us a different output if we do a little bit of redstone magic in the back here. So now to get started with the next circuit, I need 4 redstone dust coming along here and then a repeater facing this way, and this is going to be used to lock this repeater and turn off any signal going towards the dropper so that only the second output goes if this happens. So that's what's happening here, and then we need a little bit of a pulse extender to make sure that this goes for more than just 1 second. So get a few comparators wrapping around like this, and that should extend the pulse just fine. Now next we want to run it to our second option, which is actually going to be a set of sticky pistons right here, right here, holding everything that we need to pull the stuff back, and yeah. So we'll have a little bit of redstone dust coming along here, and I want to do another pulse extender right here, right here, but it's going to be a little bit longer of a pulse extender. Get a few extra comparators in there, and we'll run this back to another block with a torch on it because I want the piston to be regularly powered. Okay, we'll grab a little bit more redstone dust, take the power up to here. Alright, I switched out the redstone and I made it actually affect both blocks. So now we have our sticky pistons in place. So theoretically, if I hold this down, those sticky pistons should pull back. Perfect. Okay, I'm really happy about this, and also this should not have triggered. So let's double check. We don't want to get anything from the dispenser when we hold it down. Perfect. So this redstone is working perfectly. Let's have a quick look over it again. So really quickly, you press this button, both these redstone lines get activated. If it gets held down, both torches turn off, and that will activate this, blocking the redstone line from going over here and making it so that the door opens. So now I just need to create a little cavern down into, I guess, the final room of our treasure room. And now I can't remember if I've mentioned that this room is going to be used to store the dragon egg, and as you may notice, I've already went and built up a little bit. Actually, I've built all of it, and we have the pedestal that we're going to put our dragon egg on, and I think this place is looking fantastic. Talking about the design for this room, I made sure to bring the sandstone theme down from before, and I put up some gold blocks to symbol that this next area is going to be a luxurious area, and that's kind of what I went for. I really liked this deep slate block, and I've been struggling to find a good use for it, but as a pedestal block to put the dragon egg on, I think it's going to look really cool. We also made sure to get some lodestones in. I've been wanting to use lodestones and calcite as a floor for so long because I think the blocks go really well together along with some of the polished diorite, but it's just been too expensive. But I decided to just pull the trigger, and I think I only needed like 12 or 14 pieces, but it was still really expensive. And also I want to say how much I really have to appreciate the beacon block, how it's partially transparent and we're able to see that behind. I think it gives a really nice effect from far away, seeing those magma blocks behind the beacons. This place is looking really cool. Now let's go and get the dragon egg and get it in place. And it just looks like this is where the dragon egg was meant to be all along. I am so happy with how this room looks. How this whole build turned out is absolutely amazing. I had so much fun playing with redstone in this build. I am super, super happy. And on a recent live stream, I also went and did a ton of the pillager raids. So now we have a whole bunch of totems in the dispenser. So we're stocked up for a while. We know where to come if we need them. But with that being said, I'm running out of time for today's episode. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I had a ton of fun playing around with redstone doors and finding new and cool ways for us to activate these doors. And there was still a lot more that I wanted to complete in this episode, but you can't always get everything you want done. I still need to go off and build that big cactus forest off in that other field there. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna hope to try to get that done in between episodes. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please consider leaving a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Water Tribe, out.